If there's one thing that the Crystal Dynamics Tomb Raider games want us to understand, it's that Lara Croft wasn't always a wisecracking, seen-everything-but-whooping pseudo-archaeologist. When we're introduced to a young, inexperienced Lara in 2013's Tomb Raider, she's just starting her journey on the path toward becoming a Tomb Raider who has a T-Rex head mounted to her wall. But even just in the brief time period between crashing on the island of Yamatai and the beginning of Rise of the Tomb Raider, she came a long way down that path. Here are 5 things Lara picked up since falling onto that piece of rebar. That will never not make me cringe. The moment in 2013's Tomb Raider when Lara finally receives an ice pick is pretty momentous. Suddenly whole new areas of the landscape are opened up, and you now have another great opportunity to miss hitting a button and letting Lara fall to her death. But throughout the game, she only has the one pick. You might think that sounds like an ineffective way to climb, and you'd be right. So of course she takes 2 ice picks into the Siberian wilderness with her. She's also gotten pretty good at ripping a man's head off by the base of his skull using said ice picks, which, you know, yay? When you're an archaeologist on the hunt for truth, or just generally on the hunt for anything you can sell evidently, you tend to make enemies. So you need to learn how to shoot those enemies most effectively. You real archaeologists out there, feel free to weigh in on that. Lara got a lot of experience with ducking into cover on Yamatai, but sometime between then and now she turned that experience into something practical. Gone are the days of chilling behind a box forever. Lara can now hide in bushes, in trees, and underwater. She's also become adept at silently murdering folks from above and below. And she's figured out how to predict the sightlines of her enemies. Nervous about getting shot? Don't worry, with Lara's new skills, you won't even know that you were targeted before it's all over. Lara's ingenuity in turning anything remotely useful to her advantage was critical to her survival on Yamatai. That included being able to modify and upgrade her weapons with whatever happened to be lying around. Since her escape from the island, however, Lara has clearly been spending some time rewatching old MacGyver episodes, because her improvised weapons are off the hook now. From a shrapnel grenade made from a can to a shortwave radio rigged as a proximity mine, Lara has gotten really good at making everyday items go boom. And this isn't the kind of thing that requires her to sit down and spend hours working. Just a few things from her pockets, some stuff lying on the ground, and hey, Molotov cocktail, grenade arrows, poison trap hidden inside an enemy corpse, you name it, she'll kill you with it. When Lara lands on the shores of Yamatai, she's immediately captured. While escaping, she pulls the roof down on the head of her captor, and even though it's an accident, she's upset. As her time on the island progresses, she winds up deliberately taking the lives of dozens of men, and on several occasions she goes through the mental breakdowns you might expect. She's a brutal survivalist, but at least she's conflicted. By the time we join up with her in Siberia, however, Lara has lost that hesitation. She's certainly not in the business of just murdering everyone, of course, but once she's identified an enemy, well, look. His first warning that she was there was a bullet intended for his head. On that note, that window there just stopped 3 bullets. Lara picks up a fire extinguisher and smashes right through it. I'm fairly confident she couldn't do that on Yamatai. Those are the 5 key ways Lara has improved herself since 2013. What have you done in that time? Feeling a little inferior now, maybe? Well, you have watched at least one great video on YouTube in that time, so there's that. And look, YouTube has picked another one for you. Keep it up, and someday you might be able to watch videos as well as Laura Croft.